Chuck's mission? A full city in less than 72 hours. So, how is he doing? As we saw in the last episode, Chuck saved time on content creation by using Parcel Editor. Creating procedural templates allowed him to make rich, varied content without creating it all by hand. Now, he's ready to generate his city, but Chuck's worried. In his experience, city creation can take weeks, but just as he used Parcel Editor to save time, Chuck can use City Designer, UrbanPad's city generation engine, to put all his urban content in place, fast. Chuck's job begins here in the City Designer specification interface. This is where he tells the generator how he wants his city to look. Here, Chuck adds his activities. These activities are the templates he created in the last episode. Here, he adds the restaurant. But he only wants 7 restaurants in his city, so he limits the number to 7. Now, Chuck's ready to generate his city. Here, on the simulation screen, Chuck launches his simulation. A few minutes later, Chuck has generated his city. His content is in place where he wants it, but his loudmouth boss Bob walks by and points out the obvious. Without some greenery, Chuck's city looks like a wasteland. So Chuck decides to put grass and trees in his city. The problem? Doing it by hand is going to eat up the rest of his time. But City Designer provides a very quick, very efficient solution. Rules. Instead of creating all that greenery by hand and placing it himself, Chuck makes a rule that tells City Designer to cover all his sectors with the green stuff. But first, he adds some sidewalks to make it more realistic. Here, he tells the generation engine that he wants the city covered in greenery. He selects another procedural template, which will paint his city with grass and trees. A mouse click later, and it's done. It couldn't be simpler or faster. Still, Chuck has more work to do before his city is ready to go. Bob is back. He doesn't like the way the road looks. Here, for example. Bob wonders what the game would look like with the track that is more to the right, but Chuck isn't sure what this would do to the position of his houses. No problem. City Designer's combined manual editing and automatic features make it simple. Chuck moves the road segment and watches as the houses next to it move automatically. This feature saves him the trouble of adjusting the building by hand. But Bob has another bright idea. Now, he wants to see what another house would look like here. No problem. Chuck simply selects the house and automatically regenerates it. This way, he can see immediately what his changes will look like. A happy Bob equals a happy Chuck. Chuck's getting closer to the finish line. Here's what UrbanPad helped him do today. Runtime manual editing, automatic landscape adaptation. Next time, we'll take a closer look at how Chuck programmed his city to look the way it does.